morning to the Chief Justice and Honorable Justice. May I take the court? My name is Madam Tasha Shah with my counsel respondent, Ms. Hani. Today, I will present as plaintiff at this court at the state of Johor. In this case, Hani offered to sell her land at the price of 15,000 ringgit to Dani, but Sarah, who happened to hear that, was interested to buy that. Hani refused to sell her land to Sarah, and Sarah claimed that Hani was bound to sell to her.
Good morning to Chief Justice and the Honorable Justice. May I please the court? My name is Noashiki Mita Azinta with my counsel appellant, Ms. Sarah. I will represent as defendant and this court at state of Johor. Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, under the law, my client is presumed innocent until proven guilty.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen, the issue of this case is whether the contract between Hani and Sarah is valid, void or voidable because the contract is not an offer. As a plaintiff, the contract between Hani and Sarah is void because it is not an offer. This is because Hani was refused to sell her land to Sarah, and Hani only offer it to individual, not a large public. In Section 2A Contract Act 1950, when one person signifies to another his willingness to abstain from doing anything with a view to obtaining the assent of the other to the act or abstinence, he is said to make a proposal. According to the Section 2A Contract Act 1950, in this case, Hani doesn't show her willingness to sell her land to Sarah because Hani only offer to sell her land to Dani and not offer it to large public. Section 4.1 Contract Act 1950, the communication of a proposal is complete when it comes to the knowledge of the person to whom it is made. According to the Section 4.1 Contract Act 1950, the communication between Hani and Sarah is not complete because Hani doesn't accept to sell her land to Sarah and doesn't agree with the interest of Sarah. According to the previous case, which is Bolton v. Jones 1857, the facts is Bolton had taken over the business of one Brocklehurst with whom Jones had previous dealing. Jones sent an order for goods to Brocklehurst, which Bolton supplied without informing Jones that the business had changed hands. When Jones found out that the goods had not come from the Brocklehurst, he refused to pay for them and was sued the Bolton for the price. The head of this case is Jones is not liable to pay for the good. It is a rule of law that if a person industries contract with someone, the other cannot give himself any right under case. Based on Bolton v. Jones 1857 case, the court should also declare that the contract between Hani and Sarah to be void. It is because Hani doesn't have to sell her land to Sarah because Hani only offered to Dani and she not even mentioned Sarah's name. So, in this case, Sarah only offered to one person or for individual, not a large person or other person.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this case right the issue whether the contract between Hani and Sarah is valid, void and voidable because the contract is not an offer. In my opinion, in this case, the contract between Hani and Sarah is valid because it is an offer. Sarah has the right to buy Hani's land and Dani did not make any statement in terms of orally or written that showed he accepted Hani's offer. Based on Section 421, the communication of a proposal is complete when it comes to the knowledge of the person to whom it is made. So, Hani knows about Sarah's was interested to buy her land at price of 15,000 ringgit and she refused it. Then state in section 422A, the communication of an acceptance is complete as against the acceptor when it comes to the knowledge of the proposer. As example, the proposal is complete when Sarah know about the Hani's land at a price of 15,000 ringgit and interested to buy it.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen, in this case, Hani was offered her land at the price of 15,000 ringgit to Dani, and Sarah, who happened to hear the offer, was interested to buy it. Based on my opinion, the contract between Sarah and Hani should be void because Hani was refused to sell her land to Sarah. Moreover, Hani only offered to sell her land to Dani, not Sarah. The communication between Hani and Sarah is not complete because Hani doesn't show her willingness to sell her land to Sarah. Hani also have her right whether she want to sell her land or not.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen, respondent made one point that I will address. Respondent state that my client, Miss Sarah, wants to buy Hani's land worth 15,000 ringgit after knowing by her knowledge, but Hani refused to sell her land to Sarah. Sarah claimed that Hani was bound to sell to her because Dani didn't respond any statement that he wants to buy Hani's land. So, I don't think it is wrong to Sarah buy the land worth 15,000 ringgit to Hani because Dani didn't respond with orally or written towards Hani.
In this case, the contract between Hani and Sarah is void because it is not an offer. This is because Hani refused to sell her land to Sarah and Hani only offered it to individual, not a large public. Next, the contract is not an offer. In our case, based on Section 4.1 Contract Act 1950, the communication between Hani and Sarah is not complete because the knowledge of Sarah is not agreed by Hani. Based on the decision made in Bolton v. Jones 1857, the court should declare the contract between Hani and Sarah is void. It is because Hani refused to sell her land to Sarah, and Hani also has a right to make a decision whether she wants to sell her land or not to Sarah. Based on Section 66, when an agreement is discovered to be void, Sarah is not bound to the land to Hani.
In this case, the contract between Hani and Sarah is valid because it is an offer. It is because Dani did not make any statement that show he accept Hani's offer. In our case, based on Section 422A, the offer in communication received by Sarah and Hani about her land worth 15,000 ringgit. Based on this decision made in Broadden versus Metropolitan Railway Company 1877, Sarah wanted to send a draft about her intended to buy Hani's land to Hani for consideration. Sarah and Hani agreed to dealing with, but Hani never signed the contract. Based on Section 66, when an agreement is discovered to be valid, Sarah assumed that Hani will sell her land to Sarah.